The Blues didn't just survive Game 7 in Dallas, they took control of it from the opening shift and never gave it back. Welcome back to Blue 100. I'm the Wolf. This is Blue 21. It's Paul Statsny. And we're winding to May 21st, 2016. St. Louis walked into American Airlines Center with its season balanced on one game. Then they played like they had no interest in suspense. Excuse me. Game 7 is supposed to tighten your chest. It's supposed to turn away every loose puck into a crisis. Instead, the Blues gave their fans something unfamiliar, a relaxing Game 7. When have you actually watched your team in a Game 7 and actually felt comfortable? Dallas finished atop the Central Division and the Western Conference with 109 points. St. Louis finished with 107, just 2 points back. So the Blues aren't just an underdog. These are two excellent teams that spent the entire season stepping on each other's skates. The Stars were fast, aggressive, and loaded with offense. The Blues were heavier, deeper, and built to make every shift feel like manual labor. St. Louis already survived their first Game 7, knocking out the defending champion Chicago Blackhawks in the first round. Then came Dallas. The Blues lost Game 1, 1, 2, and 3, lost Game 4 in overtime, took Game 5 on the road, and then they blew their chance to close it at home. Dallas jumped ahead 3-0 in Game 6 and held on for a 3-2 win. So the Blues had to return back to Texas. Dallas had home ice, momentum, and a building ready to explode. How much do you believe that momentum matters when the puck drops on a completely new game? Can momentum carry from one game to the other? I don't know. Paul Statsny was born in Quebec City on December 27, 1985. But St. Louis became his home. His father, Peter, was already a hockey legend. He was a Hall of Famer who had escaped communist Czechoslovakia and built a remarkable NHL career. Paul's brother Jan also reached the NHL, so hockey wasn't simply part of the household. It was basically the household language. Paul grew up in the St. Louis area and played at Chaminade before leaving for Omaha and the River City Lancers. And Statsny wasn't an oversized junior hockey wrecking ball. His game was always built around anticipation. He saw openings before they existed. At the University of Denver, he helped the Pioneers win the 2005 national championship as a freshman. In the title game up against North Dakota, Statsny scored twice. Colorado chose him with the 44th overall selection in that summer's draft. 1 year later, he's already in the NHL. His rookie year was ridiculous without being loud about it. Statsny put up 28 goals and 78 points. He made the all-rookie team and set a rookie record with a 20-game point streak. He played the same way he'd play for most of the next 17 years. Calm, smart, and efficient. He represented the U.S. internationally and won Olympic silver in 2010. By 2014, he was one of the top centers on the free agent market, and the Blues brought him home on a 4-year, $28 million contract. The fit wasn't always perfect. Statsny missed time, moved between line mates, and didn't produce at the same rate that he had for the Avalanche. Still, in 2015-16, he recorded 49 points, 64 games. He won more than 56% of his faceoffs, and he gave Ken Hitchcock a center he could trust in every part of the rink. Statsny's brilliance wasn't usually just one giant highlight. It was the pass before the pass, the clean zone exit, or the face-off win that helped everything else happen. Do you appreciate players like that more as you get older? I do. Do you still want the guy who jumps through the television? And now for something completely different. In 1911, English daredevil Bobby Leach became the second person to survive going over Niagara Falls in a barrel. He suffered terrible injuries. Then he recovered and spent years telling his story. 15 years later, while touring New Zealand, he slipped on a fruit peel. Nah, not a banana peel, an orange peel. He broke his leg and died. Yeah. Niagara Falls couldn't finish the job, but discarded fruit could. That has nothing to do with Paul Statsny. I just think everybody should know it. The Blues went to the power play early. In a 5:23, Robbie Fabry cut around the crease and shoveled home a loose puck, 1-0. Dallas tried to answer, but Brian Elliott was locked in. The Stars generated chances. They just couldn't turn the building loose. Then with 1:38 left in the first, Statsny attacked from an angle that really didn't look like an angle at all. Troy Brouwer and Fabry worked the puck up to him, and Statsny squeezed the shot between Kari Lehtinen and the near post, 2-0. That goal would stand as the game winner. The Blues appeared to score again through Vladimir Tarasenko, but Dallas challenged the play, and the play was ruled offside. 4 seconds restored to the clock. And that's okay. But with 3.4 seconds left, Patrick Berglund threw a long wrister through traffic and into the net, and it was 3-0. So in spite of all that, St. Louis scored anyway, almost like the replay review just got in their way. Lehtonen had allowed 3 goals on 8 shots. Antti Niemi replaced him for the second period, and at 3:50, David Backes buried another one. So now it's 4-0. Then Statsny's line completed its little circle. Fabry scored from Brouwer and Statsny. Statsny scored from Brouwer and Fabry. At 15:06 of the second, Brouwer scored from Fabry and Statsny. Each man had a goal and 2 assists. 5-0. That's perfect hockey geometry. Patrick Eaves finally scored for Dallas early in the third period. And maybe that was a tiny opening for one of those impossible playoff comebacks. And the crowd came to life. Stars came to life. But this wasn't that kind of night. Dallas pulled Niemi with more than 5 minutes left. And Tarasenko hit the empty net, 6-1. Elliott finished with 31 saves, and the Blues were heading to their first Western Conference final since 2001. Which moment broke Dallas? Was it Statsny's short side goal, Berglund scoring the other after the overturned goal, or Backes making it 4-0? Afterward, Statsny said the Blues knew they had a good team and believed they'd risen whenever they were challenged. That sounds like standard playoff language, but St. Louis had just proved it twice. They'd eliminated Chicago in 7, then gone into Dallas and defeated the West's top seed. They crushed them, really, 6-1. Backes called the Blues' most complete game of the series. Hitchcock praised Statsny's line, and the hockey world focused heavily on Fabry, who became the youngest player ever to record 3 points in a Game 7. Statsny didn't need the loudest headline. He'd scored the winner and helped drive the line that dismantled the Stars. And there's a difference between being the star of a game and being the guy who makes the entire game work. Which one was Statsny here? St. Louis opened the Western Conference final with a win over San Jose. But the Sharks gradually took control. Their speed caused problems. Their forecheck wore down the Blues, and San Jose took the series in 6 games. Statsny didn't score in the conference final, although he did add 4 assists. The run ended 1 round short of the Stanley Cup final, but it was also the deepest Blues run in the postseason since 2001. San Jose went on to face Pittsburgh and lost the Stanley Cup final in 6 games. The Blues were close, close enough that losing felt like a missed opportunity rather than the natural end of a nice little run. So is that 2016 team good enough to win the Cup? Or did San Jose expose a real gap? Statsny remained with St. Louis until the 2018 trade deadline, when the Blues sent him to Winnipeg. He clicked immediately with the Jets and helped them reach the Western Conference Final. That summer, he signed with Vegas. 2 years later, he returned to Winnipeg in a trade and remained a useful two-way center into his late 30s. And he finished his playing career with Carolina in 22-23, scoring an overtime series winner against the Islanders in his final postseason. Statsny retired. Statsny didn't require. He retired in 2023 after 17 NHL seasons. His final numbers: 1,145 points, 293 goals, and 822 points. He added 73 points in 118 playoff games. Yeah, I did it. He was never Peter Statsny, and that's fine. Paul built a long, excellent career without needing to become a carbon copy of his dad. He arrived quietly, played intelligently, and retired the same way. And that seems about right. So next, we leave the ice and head to Oakland for Warrior 46. All right. Warrior 46 is, where is it? Andres Biedrins, right here. January 27th, 2008, Andres Biedrins scored only 11 points against the Knicks, but he completely owned the game anyway. He grabbed 26 rebounds, including 20 off the defensive glass, and Golden State survived 106-104. Oh, shit. 106-104. 26 rebounds, including, it's in the middle of the We Believe afterglow. So how does a player dominate a game while barely shooting? We'll dig into that next. But for Blue 21, Paul Statsny's Game 7 in Dallas wasn't the flashiest performance of his career. Might have been the cleanest expression of who he was. 1 goal, 2 assists, quiet control, no panic. The Blues didn't just survive, they advanced. I'm the Wolf. Thank you for hanging out. Maybe I'll see you next time.